Welcome everyone to another installment of Product Battle. Today's showdown will feature Brylcreem versus Brylcreem. As I've discussed in previous videos, Brylcreem everywhere around the world is manufactured by Unilever, except the United States where it is manufactured by Comb. However, different variations, even within Unilever, exist internationally, but the particular variant that's manufactured and used in the UK is also used all around the European Union. Today we'll be comparing this European Brylcreem to the American Brylcreem. By the way, since I have so many videos on Brylcreem, I'll be making a Brylcreem exclusive playlist so you can check out this video and all my other Brylcreem videos and reviews in that single playlist. I'll leave a link in the description below so you can check out me being obsessive about Brylcreem in a full playlist. Before the battle begins, let's discuss some differences between the two variants that are not necessary for the battle, but I think are worth talking about. But these differences are pretty subjective, which is why they won't be in the final battle. Both of the designs of each Brylcreem variant, I gotta admit, they're actually aesthetic in their own ways. But it's up to you which one you think is cooler, well, to each their own. The European Union version comes in this iconic red pot, and pretty much every Unilever version of Brylcreem except the one in India comes in a red pot, where in India it comes in a little black pot, but this European one over here has the iconic red pot with the Brylcreem lion logo over here, and the American version comes in a sleek old school style tube. The US version has a greasy lotion-like consistency, while the European version has a thicker consistency that appears to be more emulsified, but is more buttery in contrast to the lotion-like composition of its American counterpart. Now on to the scent. The European Union version has a subtle lemon shaving soap scent, while the American version has a stronger and more intense scent that is sweet and a little floral, but it's more of a barbershop or talc powder scent. Now that we got them out of the way, let us begin the battle of the Brylcreems. First of all, let us take a look at the containers themselves. Let us judge the containers on two aspects. The first one will be on the practicality of the containers, and the second one will be on the sustainability of the containers. A pot is definitely much sturdier than a tube. However, a tube makes for easier control of the amount of product you want to use later on compared to just scooping out of a pot. Furthermore, if you want to travel around, let's just say you have a little bag to carry your toiletries. I have my double-edged safety razor in here, my aftershave and body wash as well. I imagine there won't be so much space for a big pot like this, whereas a tube is easier to pack with you and it fits inside this little bag. However, there is a bit of a problem when you're running out of product. It won't be very easy to squeeze the remaining product out of a tube. Even if you roll the tube out, it's not guaranteed that you'll get all the product out of a Brylcreem tube. Whereas if you are running low on Brylcreem in a pot, it is really, really easy to clean it out. However, a pot with such a large opening poses another problem as well. That means that there's larger chance of contamination and there's more exposure to the air, which might have an effect on the shelf life of the product. Now it seems that at this point a tube has a little more advantage compared to a pot. However, I don't take product wastage lightly, and product wastage is definitely less likely in a pot and more likely in a tube. And product wastage to me is a bigger issue compared to shelf life by exposure and contamination, which are really minor issues if you ask me. Therefore, when it comes to the factor of practicality of containers, I would give the UK, the European, and the American Brylcreems both a tie. The US version comes in a non-recyclable plastic tube, which comes in a recyclable paper box, whereas the European version comes in a polypropylene pot that can be recycled up to 6 times. There is absolutely no question as to which one earns the point for sustainability. The US version has an average retail price of $5.97 US for 5.5 fluid ounces. The European version is 3.49 euros for 250 milliliters. which is about 3.82 US dollars in today's conversion for 8.45 fluid ounces. You don't even need to do any further math here, so you get more product, well, much more product for less with the European version. Both formulas of Brylcreem, of course, contain water, mineral oil, and beeswax as their primary ingredients, which famously are the essentials of Brylcreem. But the US version contains much less ingredients compared to the European version, and both formulas contain BHT. And this might be concerning to some individuals. However, the US formula is absolutely alcohol-free, while the European version contains benzyl alcohol. Therefore, America earns a point for ingredients. Now, before you ask, yes, Brylcreem is absolutely safe for hair. I see this question being commonly asked among Indians. BHT may be concerning to some individuals, but they're used in such small amounts in a way that it does not provide any harm or affect the product or provide side effects. I find it a little easier to style with the EU version since it has a thicker consistency, and this gives a slightly better control than the US version. More slickness is given in the final hairstyle with the European version, but the American version has a glossier and higher shine. I assume that most of you who pick Brylcreem up are aiming for an old school, classic, and conservative look. After all, that's what Brylcreem is made for. So in this case, higher shine will be an advantage, which is why I gave the points for shine to American Brylcreem. Furthermore, the shine that the US Brylcreem provides looks closer to what I personally see on vintage hairstyles back in the day. Brylcreem is notoriously light hold stuff, therefore for the whole test, I decided not to do a full day test I normally do with other products, and I just did a whole test that lasts for a few hours. The European version showed some deflation and gaps, while the US version was very floppy and messy despite having a shorter testing time than the European version. The point here obviously goes to Europe. Greasiness of a product may be a discomfort to a lot of people, so I'll be taking this into account in the product battle. The United States version leaves a more prominent oily residue, whereas the European version, being less greasy, obviously takes the winning point. Brylcreem is a multi-purpose product and is also used and known for being a leave-in conditioner, so conditioning effect as a criterion can't be left out. Both variants condition the hair really well, however I find that it gets softer hair with American Brylcreem, so America wins a point for this one. Brylcreem is also used by a lot of people, especially in the pomade community, to degrease and break down oil-based pomade buildup in the hair, especially waxier ones. The United States version does a better job at degreasing my hair from oil-based pomades, in my experience, compared to the European one. Now that we have all our criteria ready, I'll show you a quick rundown of all the aspects and points we looked at today, and then I'll reveal the winner of this Brylcreem battle. We can see here that America earned 5 points, and Europe won the Brylcreem battle with a total of 7 points. What do you think about Europe winning the Brylcreem battle? Was it a fair fight? Let me know in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this video, please do check out my other pomade and hair product reviews, Pomade Survival Lecture Guide series, tutorials, and the Murray's vs. Dax pomade battle, and also do leave a like, subscribe to this channel, click on the bell icon so you don't miss a single upload of The Squinty Show, and I'll see you next time on The Squinty Show.